again. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Rainbow Push. My name is Miss Michelle. We have Monte Falon on keys. We have JD on drums. Again, we're just making a little noise till we go live. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome to Rainbow Push. We're about to go live, y'all. Can I get everybody to just put their hands together?
Well, good morning. We're coming to you live from Rainbow Push, saying to everybody everywhere that the push is on. Regardless of what's happening in our world, regardless of who's in the State House, regardless of who's in the White House, we know that God is on the throne, and we've gathered today in Dr. King's workshop to tell America that the push is on. We are still fighting, we are still lifting, and we are still trying to make a way for people who have found themselves stuck at the bottom. Thank God that there is a crowd of people who showed up this morning at Dr. King's workshop to talk about a few things, because today we get a chance to talk about taxes. And I don't know about you, but I want to know why are our taxes so high. And I want to know why our taxes so high on disproportionately poor communities. And so our assessor is going to be here today, and we can't wait to hold his feet to the fire and find out what is going on with our taxes. And in spite of that, not only are we here to talk about taxes, but we have a great speaker again this morning. We know that the Reverend Stephen Thurston got a word for us. And so those of you who are in your cars, you ought to turn your car around and you ought to make your way to 930 East 50th Street. Those of you who are watching online, you ought to call 2 or 3 people and tell them to turn on Rainbow Push, because the push is on. The push is on. The push is on.
We can make it a better place. We can make it a better place. If we only try, only try. We can make it a better place. We can make it a better place. If we only try.
Come on, stand on your feet with us.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and air one ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise against the listening skies. Let it resound loud as a rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present brought us. They sing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Yeah. You may have your seats. We're going to ask the Reverend Dr. Jeanette Wilson to come and to lead us in a prayer. How many of you know that God is still able? God is able. Somebody said that problem that I had, I couldn't seem to solve. I tried and I tried, then I gave it over to Jesus, and he worked it out. Reverend Dr. Attorney Jeanette Wilson.
Our Father and our God, we pause to say thank you. Thank you for the Reverend James Trent Meeks. He has marched with me in every community in this city where violence occurred. We thank you for his service across the years and how he leads us and the family in the tradition of the Reverend Clay Evans. So we're grateful for his presence today and for his participation. Oh, God, we thank you for how you have blessed us. In spite of all that we see and all that is going on, as Reverend Jackson would say, we will keep hope alive. We will keep fighting every day. We're praying for so many families, the pregnant mother who was beaten by some elementary school children. We're even praying for the parents of those children who did not keep them within the balance of civility. And so we're praying for parents whose children are out of control. We're going to have some mentoring programs for parents. We've been mentoring children. We're going to mentor you so that you can raise your child in a godly way. God, we thank you for, we're praying for the mother or the young lady that was on the L track and doused with gasoline for no reason. But we're also praying that people would have a better sense of justice to not watch a woman in flames and do nothing. And so, God, as we pray for our own Cynthia DeBartolo on the loss of her husband, Mark DeBartolo, she heads our Wall Street project. So we're praying for that family. We're praying for Reverend Frank Thomas, who led off the think tank, the Faith Leaders think tank. We're praying for his healing and strengthening. And, of course, we're praying for our founder, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, as he continues to go. God, we're praying that this organization, we will come together as a people. We have the power if we have the faith. And so, God, we thank you for what you're doing. We thank you for Yusef and Jonathan and Santita and Jackie, too, and then for Mrs. Jacqueline Jackson for her strength during these difficult moments. God, bless this program, bless all who are in it, and we know that it will be a blessing to those who will come today, those families who are hungry, those families who are struggling. We are here for you. Let every heart say, amen.
Well, it's a good day to be alive. It's a good day to be free. It's a good day to be black. It's a great day to be at Push. We honor God for another day that God has blessed us, and another day that God has kept us, and another day that God has kept the doors of Push open to make provision for the lives of people that find themselves in need. If you're in this place, even if you're in the digital space, as Reverend Meek said, you got time to get here to Rainbow Push. We have available for you food. After this experience, it's downstairs, and we want to make it available to everybody in our community as we recognize that people are struggling with various needs, and now is not the time to allow pride or ego to keep you from your blessing. Let's make sure that we tap in, we reach in. If we know people that are in need, reach out to them now. Invite them into this space, take something to them, make sure that all of their needs are met as we have these resources that are made available for us to do. Thanksgiving, it's coming. It's just a few days away, and we've already got the spirit of thanks for what God continues to do in all of our lives. But we are celebrating the lives of people that might not have family, might not have friends, and we're inviting them into this safe space called Push at 11 a.m. on that day. We'll be feeding over 100 people on that day. Can we celebrate that? Volunteers are already lined up. Listen, we've got a few slots left, but you got to register. We don't want you to just pop up on the scene with the gangster lean and roll in here thinking you're going to get some turkey, green beans, macaroni and cheese, all of that stuff. We need you to register so that we can ensure that we've got adequate resources for everybody. We don't want nobody fighting over no biscuits on Thanksgiving Day. And so let's make sure that we all register. Go to the website, fill out the registration form. And if there are multiple people in your family, indicate that. If there are children that are coming with you, indicate that. So again, we make sure that everybody's need is met in a just and equitable way. December 4th, our construction training will resume here at Push. You can go to our website and register. We ought to clap for that. We want to equip people for jobs. We don't want to just give people handouts. We want to give people hands up, so that they can be employed and provide for themselves. And so make sure that if you know people who are interested in engaging in the trades, that December 4th they're here and that they register in advance. And then it's coming. December is right around the corner, and we're excited around Push about December because it's Founders Month. We celebrate the birthday of this organization and the work that's going to be done. Every Saturday, special guest speakers will be here as we reflect and reminisce and take a flashback to what Push has been, what Push is now, and we project into the future about what Push is going to continue to be in the lives of our people, in the life of this community, for black people here in Chicago and black and brown people all around the globe. And so make sure that you're here in December every Saturday. We want to show up in a big way as we honor the life and the work of our founder. Can we make some noise for the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson? We want to honor him in a major way in December. Let's make sure that we're following Push on all social media platforms. Don't just wait till Saturday to get the information. You can get it on your phone every day, all day, any day. And so follow us on all of the social media platforms that are made available. Michelle, can you come on and bless us a little bit as we move forward in our experience today?
Try a song for you. Hey, yesterday, a man said to me, he said, how can you smile when your world is crumbling down? I said, it's my secret. When I want to cry, I take a look around and I see that I'm getting by. Just hold on, change is coming. Hold on, don't worry. Some people like to run away from the pain inside. Now it's your business. Do what you want to do. But if it don't work out, it's what you ought to do. Hold on. Change is coming. Hold on. Don't worry about it. Hold on. Oh, you can make it. Hold on. It's going. Say la la. 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 Oh, hold on. You can make it. Hold on. Don't worry about a thing. Hold on. Oh, you gon' make it. Oh, hold on. Don't worry about a thing. Oh, hold on. You can make it. Oh, hold on. Don't worry about a thing. Oh, hold on. Hey, you can make it. Oh, hold on. 'Cause everything will be all right.
Tell somebody next to you, you can make it. Tell somebody next to you to hold on. Listen, it's such a joy to be here at Rainbow Push this morning. But my biggest joy is seeing all of you who got up out of the bed, because you know one thing. You know something that most people don't know. You know that it's time to build the ark, because not it's gonna rain, it's raining. It's raining. And it's raining all over America. And for black people, it's storming. And so it's time for us to build the ark, to reconvene the family, as Reverend Jackson would say, and for all of us to get back together and to try to figure out what are we going to do about this rainstorm that we're in. I'll tell you what, if we stay in the bed, sit back and do nothing, we're going to be swept away. And so I am excited just to see all of you who've come together just to say, I don't know what I can do. I may not be able to do much, but I could be in the number. I can be there. I can lend my voice. And together we're going to build this ark. Can you give yourselves a hand? Proud of each and every one of you. We are praying for Reverend Jackson. Reverend Jackson is a fighter. He is a fighter. I was by his bedside on Sunday morning, and Reverend hadn't said nothing, hadn't been speaking. We thought it was touch and go for a while, and Reverend finally looked over at me. He said, Meeks, organize 2,000 pastors to go across the country, organize 2,000 pastors, get 2,000 bags of grocery each, and they should give out the grocery, and then fell right back to sleep. And I said, how could a man in a dead sleep wake up, give me an assignment for us to do, and then go right back to sleep? Reverend is still thinking about people. He's still figuring out a way to serve people. He's still thinking about the underdog. And he still is counting on us to make it all happen. Listen, today is tax day here at Rainbow Push. And I want to make sure that those of you who are here and those of you who are watching, that you would email us at taxproblems@rainbowpush.org. taxproblems@rainbowpush.org. I can't wait to introduce the assessor. The assessor is on the way because it's inconceivable. It just doesn't make sense when taxes have to be raised, that they are raised on the backs of black and poor people. It does not make sense. It does not make sense for senior citizens to have to bear the brunt of an 80% tax increase. Somebody is going to have to explain to us something. Somebody's going to have to tell us why our taxes are raised higher than the taxes on the north side. Somebody is going to have to tell us something. And so I'm going to save the rest of that speech because y'all going to hear the same thing when I get ready to introduce him. When he get here, I'm going to say the same thing. And so I'm going to save the rest of that speech for then. But we are so excited to have our own self's congressman in the building today. He gets a chance to tell us how Dad is doing, and then he gets a chance to tell us what's happening in Washington, D.C. He should be well rested because he spent about 40 days off work with nowhere to go and nothing to do. Put your hands together for Jonathan Luther Jackson.
Thank you, Reverend Meeks, for the 40 days and 40 nights of nothing to do. I wish I knew where that happened. Thank you so much. You know, just as a point of privilege I would like to take, I want you to look at the honorable people on this front row, and I see a commonality. Everyone in here that I've seen for better than 40 years, and there's something they all have in common. They all came in here because of their parents. From Reverend Jeanette Wilson, from Reverend James Meeks, from Reverend Thurston, from Brother Larry Rogers, let us make fighting for justice, fighting for our community, standing up a family tradition. And you can start that today. I first would like to give you the update on what's happening in Washington, D.C. Yes, it's a mess. In the words of Reverend James Meeks, we are in a storm. And all storms don't last always. And the words of Reverend Donald Parsons, every cloud has to run out of rain sometime. But we are going into a storm. Why? Because the president is on an economic disastrous course. And somebody has to stand up to speak back to a modern day Pharaoh, not operating with a scepter, but operating with a pen. Someone that can write executive orders and make laws that will impact us all. And Scripture is very clear on praying for all of the nation's leaders. I come to you humbly and say, pray for all of the leaders, all of the people that have been elected to serve. And if there are some of them that you don't like, I encourage you, fill out the petitions, get on the ballot, and you do something about it. We have to encourage maximum participation. Don't curse the dark. Light your candle. Come out. Let's get these children. Let's get our families involved. Let us register. Let us vote. I am very much concerned about the sphere of violence. There's violent language which precedes violent actions. Someone says, I'm fin to, about to, and they say, I'm going to clock you, steal on you tense up and prepare right then. When the president starts hurling violent language out at our colleagues, people can be collateral damage and get unintentionally hurt. I stand before you as a representative of the 1st Congressional District. There are 2 people in jail today on credible death threats against me. And in a world of profile, I am low profile. So I am sickened by the tone and the tenor that's coming from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But at the same time, we're also going to pray for the president. He is erratic. He can do things at the flip of a dime. He can still pick up that pen and release 100,000 people that have minor drug offenses that should be out. He can still pick up that pen and reverse everything he's done at the Department of Health and Human Services. He still can pick up that pen and reverse taxation to make sure that he can still pick up that pen. So you'll say, well, how can you talk with him today and you disagree with him tomorrow? Because he's still the president. That doesn't mean I change, but it does mean I'm praying that the Lord changes him. And I am sickened by what I hear when he tells black women, you have low IQ. That's code word. He says it about Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. He says it about the Honorable Joy Reid. He said it about former First Lady Michelle Obama. He said it about Maxine Waters. He said it about April Ryan. He said it about Jasmine Crockett. He says it about he says it about black women all the time. And when I have the opportunity to get in his presence, I'm going to remind him of it and say, Mr. President, there's a more excellent way to go. Now, the reason you're here, and let me give you the tea that you may not know, and I'm glad to say this. We have seen Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene now say she is seeking to step down. Somebody would say, oh, it's time for her to go. I'm glad she's gone. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. When I first had the opportunity to meet Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, I said, Congresswoman Greene, I had seen all the things she had done, mega, and that's running its course. I said, Congresswoman Greene, this is my father, Reverend Jesse Jackson. She gave a curtsy and genuflected. I am honored to meet you, Reverend Jackson, is what she said. And she has been so courteous and kind to my father. For that, I'm grateful. There's many things she said in the past that I disagree with, absolutely. But I also know the Lord can change hearts. When she had the guts, the unmitigating gall, to say this is what I ran on. We are going to put an end to this pedophile ring of the rich and the powerful that have exploited young girls, young boys, children, where there's death threats around these people. The victims shall be heard. Now, you know the biggest group of women to be trafficked are young African-American girls that are coming out of the foster system. I shared with her, there's a piece of legislation that I'm working on. I would love for you to take a look at it. She says, finish it up. I want to see it. After they get through with Epstein, and I hope they get to the end, not of sex trafficking. I don't know what all that is. I'm talking about the pimping of young children. Sex trafficking sounds a little, I don't know. But to talk to the first district is called pimping. We know what that is. Exploiting and degrading children. We can put an end to that. They talk about the Epstein files. What is the file? That sounds clinical. That sounds sanitized. No, I'm talking about a man that was bribing people, blackmailing, exploiting some of the wealthiest people in the world. So we're going to pray for Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm going to ask you, she has opened the files. And now we see the rich and the powerful. Now we see the king's brother has had to step down. Now we're seeing all kind of names. The professor of Harvard University, the former secretary of labor, Mr. Larry Sumner's, or the treasury. He's had to step down. And there are going to be some more that ought to step down, that ought to be ashamed of themselves. Brothers and sisters, it's time for us to stand up and fight back. And I want you to know deeply from my heart, on behalf of the Jackson family, we say thank you. This morning, my heart is full and my spirit is full of gratitude. I stand here with a testimony that my lips shall give thanksgiving and my soul is to rise on behalf of my family. We say thank you. I was on the other end of grace. I don't know if you know what it feels like to walk down the street and you see someone catch eyes and you're just trying to get to the hospital room and someone stops and says, Jackson, and you're trying to figure out if you know them, and they said, praying for your family. You get to the elevator and somebody says, Jackson, praying for your family. When you go to the airport and somebody says, Jackson, I'm praying for you. When you get to the house floor and a member that you otherwise had nothing in common with says, Jackson, I gave a resolution on behalf of your father. Reverend Meeks, I know that prayers can be answered. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm a living testimony. My father, Reverend Jesse Jackson, has been walking through a valley these last few days. But I come to tell you this morning that God is still in the miracle-making business. What the doctors monitor, God can certainly manage. What the nurses watch, God covers. What medicine supports, prayers can complete. And church, I say to you now that prayers have been answered. Daddy has been lifted from the ICU to a regular hospital room. And when God makes his moves, it's not luck and it's not coincidence. When God starts stepping in and starts leaning down and saying, not yet. I am not done with my servant. When he woke up and opened his eyes and saw Reverend Meeks, he gave him an assignment. Get me 2,000 churches that need to pass out 2,000 meals. Then he closed his eyes one more time. Then when he woke up again, and they started taking him off the oxygen, and they thought they were putting the blinker lights on him. And he started talking, and people saw a miracle. And he says, Reverend Meeks, I'm not sick. He said, I'm weak. Reverend was back at it again. Prayer still works. Sometimes people think prayer is old-fashioned. But I want you to know when Hannah prayed, God remembered her. When Elijah prayed, fire came down. When Daniel prayed and the lions couldn't eat, they were full. When the church prayed, Peter walked out of a jail, didn't he? And when God prayed, didn't Jesus make a man, Lazarus, come back from the grave? I'm here to tell you today, I am a living testimony what God will do. Keep praying for my family. I'm going to keep praying for your family. Together we can get our way through this. Let's lift up our colleague, the Honorable Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. She has enormous amounts of death threats for doing what? Speaking truth to power. So I stand with Marjorie. Marjorie, I'm coming to see you. We're going to turn this country around. I can't stand a man that bullies a woman. I'm tired of this man at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue asking for a death threat on Alyssa Slotkin, on Maxine Waters, on all of these women. Come talk to a man, President Trump. Stop threatening women. God bless you.
Come on, can we give it up, everybody, for our Congressman, Jonathan Luther Jackson. Remember now, when I woke up this morning, I had prayer. I did. I prayed every morning. And I was on my knees, and I asked the Lord, Lord, challenge me today. I want to do something that I don't usually do. Challenge me today. But I didn't have on my bingo card somebody asking me to pray for Donald Trump and Marjorie Greene. I don't know if I had that kind of challenge in mind. He may have stepped above where I was ready to go today. Maybe tomorrow is Sunday. Maybe hit me with that one tomorrow. Don't hit me with that one today. This is a freedom. I came to fight today. Remember, this is tax day here at Rainbow Push, and we have some concerns and questions about our taxes. Our assessor is here that we're going to hear from in a few minutes. Brother Larry Rogers is here from the Board of Review. And those of you who are watching and listening from around Chicagoland, I want you to email us at taxproblems@Rainbow Push. If you're having tax problems, email us at taxproblems@Rainbow Push. But now we get an opportunity to pause and to listen, because faith cometh by, y'all know that. Faith cometh how? Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. And God has raised up a giant in our midst. And we are excited to pause to hear what God has said to him. And then after that, we're going into a little tax problem. We ain't going to be praying. We're going to be fighting in a few minutes. But can y'all give it up for the one and only Reverend Dr. Stephen Thurston?
In 1776, French economist Henri Jacques Turgot wrote that the collection of taxes, which is not absolutely necessary, is legalized robbery. Not taxation itself, mind you, but taxation that extracts from those with the least power and redistributes to those with the most. Turgot understood what black and brown citizens living within Cook County are experiencing in this moment. That taxation, when divorced from representation, from protection, from accountability, becomes something far more sinister than a civic duty. It becomes organized extraction, state-sanctioned theft, economic violence dressed up in bureaucratic language. Turgot's warning wasn't theoretical, it was prophetic. And 250 years later, his words are Cook County's indictment. The harm made devastatingly clear in the property tax bills our people are opening right now. As families in West Garfield Park stare at tax bills that have skyrocketed 133%. As single-parent households in North Lawndale figure out how to finagle their finances to fit a 99% tax surge into their already strained budgets. As seniors in Inglewood face the fear of how an 82% increase might fracture their fixed income. 9 predominantly black neighborhoods have now experienced their median tax bill jump by more than 50% in a single year. These crushing levies landed like grenades in mailboxes of black and brown families across the south and west sides of this city this week. The same families that are already strangled by inflation, stretching every dollar to keep the bottom from dropping out, and living on the razor's edge between stability and crisis, are now being forced to choose which necessity they can no longer afford. All the while, the median property tax bill in neighborhoods like Lincoln Park rose a comfortable 5.9%. And the question that's being raised from the pulpit to the pew to the public square is why? Why is our tax burden exploding while other communities enjoy stability and predictability? Why have the gleaming towers of commercial properties in the Loop experienced a tax burden reduction of $129 million, while residential communities are absorbing the fallout? Why did the Cook County Board of Review grant appeals in 2024 that cut over $3 billion in assessed value from commercial properties across the city, with downtown being the massive share of those reductions? Why? Why is it that when the commercial tax base shrinks, the burden gets redistributed to black and brown communities who don't have tax attorneys on retainer, who don't know how to appeal, who don't have time to fight City Hall because they're too busy working 2 jobs just to be housed in a city that keeps trying to price them out? Why are we still asking people to appeal one by one as if this is an individual problem and not a systemic one? Why? Having politicians fought harder for a cap on residential tax increases? Why is the property tax system still inherently unfair after all these years? And let's be clear, we're not asking for symbolism from people in power. We're demanding that you develop a damn spine. Because right now, Our people are getting crushed by the costs they didn't create and can't control. Now, to its credit, Mr. Kagi, you ran on a platform of fairness and reform. You promised to accurately value commercial properties so that homeowners wouldn't carry an unfair burden. You said that you wanted to end regressivity. That's when low-value homes are overtaxed and high-value properties are undertaxed. And according to a study performed by the University of Chicago, your reforms have saved homeowners $1.9 billion since 2018. But here's where the built-in betrayal of the system reveals itself. After he sets the assessment, developers and corporations appeal the assessments and win. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the trapdoor that keeps us in this bind. This is taxation without representation that Turgot spoke about, because here's the reality. We didn't vote to bail out the loop. We didn't vote to stabilize corporations that are able to appeal $3 billion off their books. We didn't vote to absorb the tax burden when downtown offices sit vacant. We didn't vote for any of this, yet we're forced to pay for all of this. Meeks, it's reminiscent of what I see when I read the story of Jesus' encounter with Zacchaeus in Luke chapter 19. As we penetrate the periphery of this particular pericope, we find Jesus on the edge of Jericho, moving deliberately towards Jerusalem. The city hums as a prosperous border town, bustling with traders, pilgrims, and Roman soldiers. Its tree-lined streets shadowed by both economic opportunity and the weight of imperial taxation. And it's here where Zacchaeus stands out, a chief tax collector, wealthy but disgraced, perched awkwardly in a sycamore tree, craning for a sight of the framed rabbi named Jesus. The crowd murmurs around him, a mix of curiosity and scorn. For tax collectors are not just agents of Rome, but symbols of betrayal within their own community. And Zacchaeus, he's not just any tax collector, he's the chief tax collector, a regional director of extraction who got rich off the backs of his own people, as he was incentivized to overtax, overcharge, and extract every last denarii from people who were already poor. And while the machinery of the text in our times is different, the dynamics are still the same. Systems designed to protect the powerful while squeezing life out of the powerless. Because what Zacchaeus represented in Jericho is actually what we're staring down in Chicago. An economy where profit is privatized and pain is socialized. Where corporations get lawyers and homeowners get lectures. Where developers find relief and grandmamas find that they've lost their homes at the tax deed sale. This is not misfortune push. This is not the cycle. This is not the unfortunate side effect of the formula. This push is structural strain. This is economic dumping. This is systematic sin. This is a system transferring its failures onto the very communities it was never designed to protect. And this is where Luke 19 becomes prophetic commentary on Cook County policy. Because Zacchaeus didn't just tax people, he overtaxed them. He didn't just collect what was owed, he extracted what wasn't. He didn't just administer the system, he manipulated the system. And here's what's interesting about the tax Meeks. Jesus never critiques the taxation, he critiques the exploitation. And likewise, the issue in Chicago isn't the existence of taxes, it's the predatory architecture of the tax system. When the burden falls disproportionately on the poor, while the wealthy buy their way out of responsibility, it stops being taxation and shifts to theft in slow motion. And so, like the people gathered in Jericho, we stand today at the crossroads of empire and equity. We stand at a moment where the system is asking us to pay for mistakes, cover its deficits, subsidize its decline, and keep quiet while we do it. But if you keep reading the text, you'll notice that Jesus didn't call Zacchaeus out of that tree to tell him to pray harder. He called him down to repent and to restore, to admit the harm, correct the harm, and then repair the harm. And that's what I'm calling for today. We don't need sympathy. We don't need symbolism. We need a spine from policymakers and legislators to restructure. What do we want? I'm glad you asked. We want a cap on homeowner tax increases, eliminating egregious overnight hikes. We want a fair share from commercial properties and the Board of Review to publish publicly every commercial appeal, every decision, and every dollar that shifted. We want transparent appeals data in plain language. We want a consistent schedule of more community-based tax clinics with legal aid hubs in churches and nonprofits and community-based organizations so that every homeowner who can't afford tax attorneys on retainer knows how to appeal, how to fight, and how to win. And just as salvation came to Zacchaeus' house in the text, if we organize and if we mobilize, justice will come to our house on the south side and the west side too. Because if exploitation can be engineered, then justice can be too. If they can construct inequality, we can construct accountability. If they can shift the burden, we can shift the balance. If they can appeal their way out of responsibility, we can organize our way into reform. Push! We've carried the cost long enough. Now push, it's time we carry the power.
Oh, come on. Everybody. Give it up for the one and only Reverend Stephen Thurston. Come on. Yes. So I want to say to our Board of Review, Larry and Fritz, what he said. I say what he said. That's what I want to say. Come on, one more time. Give it up for him. Those of you who don't go to church on Sunday, it is the New Covenant Baptist Church, 77th and Cottage Grove, where Reverend Stephen is preaching every Sunday. In addition to his coming here to be with us, he preaches every Sunday. You ought to visit New Covenant, and you ought to consider making New Covenant your church home. Amen. I'm sick of all these people talking about what these churches doing, what they doing right. What he just did. He's standing right here and giving us a roadmap for what we need to ask and what we need to expect out of our elected officials. This Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, don't forget now, the entire Jackson family and me will be here serving Thanksgiving food. You need to register at rainbowpush.org. You need to register at rainbowpush.org. Let us know you coming so we'll know how many biscuits to get. And you need to register, but we will be right here. Don't forget, those of you with a tax problem who's watching from around the Chicagoland area, I want you to send your request, your problem, to taxproblems at rainbowpush.org. What a joy it is for us to meet in forums like this, and we have a chance to bring together now our assessor and Brother Larry Rogers from the Cook County Board of Review to just tell us what in the world is going on and what is it that we can do about it. One of the things that I'm asking both of you gentlemen for on behalf of ministers that I've talked to this week, we've talked to, and elected officials, is that we need to have a meeting of ministers and elected officials so that we can talk and figure out how are we going to help our people right now. I need to meet. We need to meet with you, and we need to meet with Larry. But today, right now, y'all getting ready to have a meeting with the community, us, and explain to us what's going on and what it is that y'all gonna do about what's going on, because we do know that you all are elected officials, and two things happen to elected officials. They get reelected or unelected. And based on what we hear today, it's going to be one of them too. So I am excited to introduce to you today our assessor, who everybody, and as a matter of fact, any security, where's security? Security, I want y'all to walk him out today. Because everybody on the south and the west side are mad at him, but he gets a chance to speak for himself. Can y'all put your hands together for our assessor, Brother Fritz Craigie?
Reverend Meeks, thank you for that introduction, and thank you everyone for being here today. It's my honor to be with you. I feel safe in this community, Reverend Meeks. I feel safe here. How's your pop doing, Jonathan? Did I hear he got out of the hospital?
No, he's still in the hospital.
Still in the hospital. Well, I think about, some people say, Fritz, your job sucks. This is a hard job that you have to do to explain everyone's assessment, because you don't have a magic wand to reduce everyone's property taxes. Actually, the property taxes are set by our schools and our village. I don't even set those. The assessments that we set are part of the picture for how we divide up a burden that's already been determined by others. But my job, it's not hard compared with the kind of people who've been helping Congressman Jackson's pop. They have people's lives in their hands every single day. There's so many people out there who do so much more, that's so much brave. I'm just here serving you. It's my honor to serve you. It's my honor to be here this morning. I'm glad to be here this morning because I'm from here. I was born at Michael Reese. I grew up 5 blocks away from here. I know every single square foot of where we're walking here today. I'm a proud graduate of Kenwood Academy, son of Kenwood Academy. Class of '89, we got any Broncos in the house here? All right, there we go. And I still got family in the neighborhood. So I'm proud to be here with you, and I love the powerful testimony we had from Reverend Stephen here this morning. I'm talking about Zacchaeus. Now, I'd like to talk about Matthew. I think we heard Matthew invoked, because Matthew was also an assessor. Actually, he was a treasurer, if we want to be really technical, because the treasurer was collecting the taxes. But you know what? And I see so many friends here. I see great friends here in the house. Matthew was an assessor who became an evangelist. And that's a big part of the New Testament. So, what we saw in the evolution of Zacchaeus, we see in the evolution of Matthew. And I want you to know that ever since I came into the office, I have been an evangelist for the average taxpayer against all those systemic things that you were talking about, Reverend Stephen, that we were talking about, Reverend Meeks. This system, when I encountered it, it had so many layers of systemic inequity built into it, you would not believe it. Except you probably would believe it because you lived it, right? Homes at the bottom of the spectrum, cheaper homes, being overassessed, while homes at the top of the spectrum were underassessed. It was like Robin Hood in reverse. And then we had commercial properties systemically being underassessed, and that's why I got into this. My job, I used to be an investor. I would see how big buildings like the Sears Tower and the Merchandise Mart were valued on the books of big companies in their annual reports. And I'd say, well, those values they have in their annual reports, those are not the same values that Assessor Barrios has in here. This is a third of where they had it on their books. And then, I made the connection, because I'm a very proud Kenwood Academy graduate, and I go to my class reunions every year. And starting around in the late 2000s, the early 2010s, we graduated high school in '89. We started becoming homeowners in the 2000s. And that's when homes were higher valued. And then they started falling. We had the housing crisis. People got underwater on their mortgages, meaning that they owed more than their house was worth. And this was happening all over, right? This was not only happening here on the south side. This is happening in the south suburbs big time. This is happening all over. And my classmates, people don't like to talk about money. They really don't, but they say, Fritz, you're an investor. Can you explain this to me? My house value is going down, my tax bill's going up. And I didn't know the answer, but I said, I'm going to find out. And when I found out, it was just what Reverend Stephen was talking about. Commercial properties were being undervalued, shifting the burden onto my friends, onto my classmates, onto my neighbors. And that is what got me off the sidelines to want to be useful. We all need to think about how we're being useful in the world. And my way of being useful in the world was to fight against the inequities in the property tax system and run for assessor. And we've done a lot of good work on that, and I want to tell you about it. And then we're going to talk about what happened with the bills this year. So, when we came in, the first thing that we did is we said, a big problem of the tax lawyers, because they're getting big reductions on appeal, and it's shifting the burden on the people who don't have that power. So what we did is we said we're not going to take a single donation from property tax appeals lawyers when I'm an assessor, and I've kept that promise. First assessor to do that. Proud of it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I called on the Board of Review to do the same thing. You know, the county's inspector general said the Board of Review, by taking these donations, those commissioners are bringing disrepute onto the board because it is a critical conflict. And so I think this needs to be done across the county. So we're glad to be leading on that. That was the first thing they did. The second thing we did, we're going to open the books. We're going to show how we come up with the values of these properties. So we did. We're going to list every single person who comes to visit my executive team so people can see it. It's all out in the open. So we made a lot of advances on transparency on day one. But then we changed the models because those models were building into bias. Did you know that it used to be that the assessor's office, to come up with the average value for a house here in this neighborhood, they would average sales prices between Hyde Park and Woodlawn? And guess what? If you take the average price of a house in Woodlawn and an average price in Hyde Park and you mix them together, you're going to overassess Woodlawn and you're going to underassess Hyde Park every day of the week. And that's exactly what was happening. Studies showed that people who own homes under $500,000 were paying 50% more as a percentage of the value of homes that were actually transacting than what people did at the top. And so we changed the way those models were done. And that study that Reverend Stephen mentioned showed that for the bottom 70% of homeowners, since we've come in, we took $2 billion of levy burden off of them, that we eliminated that reverse Robin Hood bias. There's still more work to do, don't get me wrong. We walk humbly in what we do, but we're really proud of that. That made a difference for hundreds of dollars of tax bills. That made a difference of hundreds of dollars a year in tax bills for many of you here, many in this neighborhood, and it kept lots of money in the neighborhood. And it's resulted in a healthy housing market since COVID. If we look at the last just 3 years, more wealth has been created on the south and west sides in the last 3 years through the growth in the value of people's homes than in the last 20. I'm not going to take credit for that, but taking some of the excess burden off that was on there is part of that story. And I'm proud of it because that is how you actually fight for generational wealth, okay? That's real. Because when you reduce the burden on people, it not only helps how much money's going out the door every year, it helps the value of their house, especially if they have a mortgage.
We got 6 minutes left on.
Okay.
So I want you to explain to people who are watching why our taxes are so high.
Yes, okay, we're going to talk about this year. What I want you to know is one number. $700. Keep this number in your mind, $700. Because as Reverend Meeks talked about, as Reverend Stephen talked about, we had a 28% reduction in the typical commercial property tax bill downtown. It is a zero-sum system, y'all. We're splitting $9 billion amongst all of us in that dinner tab. Some people who ate porterhouse steaks, they're paying for the side salad. And we're making up the difference. And guys, these are properties these are not the empty office buildings. I want you to think of the biggest, most famous, nicest hotels downtown. Their tax bills fell. And you can't tell me, you cannot tell me that any hotel today is doing worse than it was in 2021 when these hotels were empty. But I want you to think, you can go look it up. Their bills fell. And it's not because of things that I did. We set those values high, and you can go and read in the newspaper about how much they are honking and pissing about how much we raised their assessments. They got them lowered on appeal at the Board of Review. That's what drove the burden. And don't take my word for it. Treasurer Pappas's report said $500 million of the levy burden was shifted on the homeowners. And what does that mean? That's where we come back to the $700. $700 per homeowner this year was tacked on because of those cuts on commercial properties. And it's not just hotels. The biggest data center downtown, their bill went down by millions of dollars. Willis Tower, what I still call the Sears Tower, it's still fully occupied, doing great, owned by the world's biggest private equity company. Their bill fell. So we, in North Lawndale, in West Garfield Park, here on the south side, we're picking up the tab for them. And if you see a sense of indignance in me, I feel the same indignance that you feel, Reverend, and all of you feel. Now, am I going to say that everyone's bill would have fallen this year if those cuts downtown wouldn't have happened? No. Look, when home values are rising in North Lawndale and in West Garfield Park and in East Garfield Park, it's only logical that those bills are going to go up. And studies are showing that we're calling that accurately. If anything, we can still call them low, okay? But the majority of the increase that Chicagoans have felt in this bill this year is that $700 effect. The typical bill in Chicago is up $700 for homeowners. Guess where that came from? $700, okay? Now, some neighborhoods, the bills are up more than $700, okay? West Garfield Park, East Garfield Park, North Lawndale, it's true. And that is because, y'all, you could have bought a house there for less than $100,000 in some of these neighborhoods before COVID. And now it's hard to find ones that are under $200 in these neighborhoods, okay? And that means in a way, that's good. People stuck it through the housing crisis, all those hard years when they're underwater on their mortgage, and they're getting a return on their investment, and they're having their wealth. But what really makes me mad is they have to take that additional $700 for those properties downtown that got cuts. That's what makes me mad, and I want to tell you what I'm doing. That's what I want to end with it, okay? Because your assessor is a fighter, and I believe in action. So first of all, I've been fighting for a property tax relief plan called a circuit breaker that would provide relief for people whose bills have spiked. Because this is not the first year this has happened. This has happened in other years. If your bill spiked by 25% or more and your income is below $100,000, you should get relief for 3 years for up to half of the increase in your bill to help you prepare for the higher bills that are ahead. And 29 other states have a program like this. It's a cornerstone of their property tax system, so people aren't hit by these surprises and given all this stress. We deserve that too. We don't have hardly anything in our state budget for property tax relief, less than 1.1%. And this would be less than 0.5% of our state's budget. And the county could cover it too. Second of all, what else are we doing? We want to make sure that we have protections in there for seniors. I'm proud that we got the threshold for the senior freeze raised this year from $65,000 to $79,000. It's going to be rising in veto session. We got that passed. I want the senior freeze to be renewed every year automatically just by checking the income data that's at a computer over at the Illinois Department of Revenue. 100,000 seniors shouldn't have to go through this. And I want to tell you, I am fighting to make sure that we don't continue passing on commercial burdens onto our homeowners. And that's why I carry the banner for ethics, for not taking campaign contributions from the tax lawyers who are asking for these reductions. You know, some of these hotels, these are the folks who hired Michael Madigan, who made him worth $40 million before he was sent to prison. Okay? So I'm fighting against those reductions on commercial, and there is a plan to get those commercial values in line. President Preckwinkle, commendably, has led a study group that has more than a dozen recommendations that's going to result in more commercial assessments and fewer cuts if implemented. And we embrace it 1,000,000%. And we followed through on those recommendations. So I want to remind you here at the end, I walk humbly. Even though we think we've done a better job in fighting for you and in getting our assessments correct, we know we can be off. Even the world's best assessor is going to be off, okay? So this is where we want to hear. Go to cookcountyassessor.com. Make sure you get your exemption. 1 out of 3 of you, look to your left or your right, probably doesn't even have the homeowner's exemption. Get signed up. That'll save you about $600 a year off your bill, and you can get a certificate of error for the years you didn't have it, looking back up to 4 years. That will help. Also, make sure your assessment's correct. If we overestimated the value of your house, especially if it hasn't been renovated, I grew up in a house with a 1940s best Truman kitchen, y'all. It depresses the value of your house. That's the kind of thing that we want to hear about in your appeals. And so you can do that, and you can appeal at the Board of Review as well with that kind of information. But I want you to know that you have a son of this neighborhood fighting for you to make this assessment better, and I think that's what we need to be properly represented in this world of ours. Thank you.
All right, now say you all 15 minutes from now, we're going to all walk out together. I want us to hear from Larry Rogers. We're going to all walk out together. Is that a message? I know the collection comes. That's why I ask people to stay 15 minutes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know it's coming. Fritz, I thank God for you. Thank God for your spirit. I'm a communicator, by trade. That's what I do. I talk to people. I couldn't repeat what you said. In all seriousness, I couldn't explain. I couldn't go home and explain to my wife or my kids why taxes are so high. I just can't do it. And we need some smaller meetings where we're going to be able to come back to our neighborhood and break it down. Because who is assessing?
Sign me up, Reverend Meeks.
Okay, all right, good. Fantastic, y'all. We're gonna have a meeting with some ministers and elected officials and community organizers, and we're going to get to the bottom of this so that we can explain it clearer. But now, a lot was dropped on the Cook County Board of Review. And so from the Cook County Board of Review is Brother Larry Rogers to help us try to understand this. Can y'all give it up for Larry Rogers? 15 minutes and we all leaving together. Don't nobody go nowhere. We're going to leave together.
Good morning, Push family. This is not the first time I've been here before you, and it won't be the last. I came up in Push, and I don't take what you've entrusted in me lightly, okay? And I will not stand here and watch you be bamboozled again by the assessor. What he ended his comments with was telling you to appeal to the Board of Review. What he's telling you to do is to come to me to fix his mistakes, while simultaneously telling you I'm the reason that your bill is high. Are we going to believe and be bamboozled by that BS anymore? If you don't believe me, believe the studies that came out of Cook County from Maria Pappas, from President Preckwinkle. If you don't believe me, believe the fact that the Democratic Party wholeheartedly dismissed him and said we can't have him anymore. He's not representing the interests of our people. They've abandoned him after watching what he's done to our communities for the last 6 to 8 years. So you stood here and heard him talk about, I'm from Kenwood, but he lives in Oak Park. You heard him talk to you about contributions. Well, he's a multi-millionaire investor who pays for his office. So we won't be continued to be bamboozled by him going forward. So let's talk about what we're doing. Let's talk about that. Okay? If you look into the issue about why your tax bills are high, I'll give you a couple of different specific examples. Okay? One, the Tribune reported that he left over $441 million of property off the tax rolls. What does that mean? Developments, homes, commercial properties that were built, and he didn't identify them and recognize them and put them on the tax rolls, meaning they didn't pay any taxes for the structures that were built on the property. He didn't assess them. He didn't put them on the tax rolls. Over almost $500 million. And it was so bad, they stopped counting. Excuse me, let me finish.
Hold on, everybody. Let Larry speak. Nobody else speak. Assessor, you had your chance, and then we might give you a rebuttal.
I'm not misrepresenting a thing. This is written in the Tribune.
Look, you ain't his daddy. Let him defend himself. We don't need you to defend him. Let him defend himself when he's finished. Continue.
One thing, not putting properties on the tax rolls. If you don't put all the properties on the tax rolls, those properties are not contributing to the tax base and the funding. Makes sense? If you don't charge them, they're not paying. Secondly, errors in valuation. How many of us have seen errors in the value he's put on our properties? He's acknowledging it by saying it. If your property's overvalued, go where? Board of Review. Fix his problems. Our office does not assess any properties. We do no assessments. We either leave the value where he said it or we reduce the value based upon evidence. All of our appeal findings are public. They are put on the website by explanation, and they are evidence-based. What is the evidence? And what does he talk about when Rogers reduces the values? Let me tell you what he's talking about. He's saying if he takes your property from $100,000 to $300,000, and then I reduce it to $200,000, I reduced your property values. It's my fault that all the property values got shifted. No, we acknowledge increases in value, but his increases have been excessive. He is not just the over-assessor, he thinks he's the overseer in our communities. He's raising the values in our communities, driving us out, living in Oak Park, while he says, I'm from Kenwood. I'm your neighbor. I'm in your neighborhood. You're my friends. I'm your son. But go to Rogers to fix my problems that I cause. So we can't be bamboozled by Fritz Kagi anymore. Okay? He's talking about Barrios. Barrios been gone for 6 years. He's been at the helm. How do we fix the problem? Let's get to the solution. Okay. One, appeal to our office. We can only change the value on a property if you appeal. Okay? If you don't appeal, we cannot fix the value. The way we fix the value is look at the values that have been set in the neighborhood. Okay? We have to do common comparisons. One problem with common comparisons is if he raised all the properties on this block, I got to compare your value to all the other raised property values. So I'm hampered and limited in what I can do to reduce the value based upon the overassessments of the other properties. Okay? So we ask you to give us appraisals. We ask you to give us MLS listings. We ask you to give us proof of sales and dilapidated conditions in the neighborhood. Any and everything that you have that can show the value is inaccurate, we factor it in. I'm not going to do it illegally. I'm not going to just reduce it because you're my friend. I have to have evidence based an evidence basis to reduce the properties. And any and every time we get an appeal that has that evidence, we give the reduction. You will see 70+% reductions coming out of the Board of Review based upon errors we are identifying and evidence to support a reduction. What can be now, right now, Cook County assesses 1 year in arrears. The appeals we're doing right now cannot help you for this tax bill. All they can do is help you for the next tax bill. But the person with the magic wand that can help you right now is right there, okay? Why do I say that? There is a mechanism that he utilizes at his whim called the certificate of error, where he says he'll send to me, and it's not just me, it's three of us, it's a big office. He'll say, hey, I acknowledge I made a mistake in Inglewood. I raised Inglewood's taxes by 50%. I'm acknowledging it in this certificate of error. Reduce Inglewood. Reduce Garfield Park. I acknowledge that I raised them excessively. Here's the certificate of error, reduce them, and I guarantee you we'll grant it.
All right. Mr. Our assessor is our guest. And so he'll have a minute to respond to anything that, a minute to respond, and then I'm gonna come back with what I think is a possible solution. All right, y'all. Right now we're almost there, and we're almost. All right, come on, because you don't not give your guest a chance to respond. That's all right.
Everybody, you've been extremely fair. You've been a great audience today. So let me just refute just a couple of things there. There was a lot there. He mentioned the studies that have come out from Treasurer Pappas and President Preckwinkle. And those are backed up everything I said. Because what did Treasurer Pappas emphasize when she's done her studies on appeals and in this report? She said that 90% of the reductions on appeal are commercial, and they're almost all happening at the Board of Review. Okay, so that's one. That's from Treasurer Pappas, okay? President Preckwinkle's study showed that the Board of Review had inappropriately cut commercial assessments 25% too low in 2 out of the 3 years that were studied, and in the other year it was 10% too low on commercial properties. And that meant, according to her study, and this is like the acid test, it's like 1,000 transactions that actually happened, and that showed that the burden was inappropriately transferred onto you in those last few years. And you know what? The good thing is these studies are going to be done every year now. So we won't have to have these debates back and forth about who was right and who was wrong. There's going to be a test. There's going to be a number. They'll come out, and we're really really proud of that. I'm sorry, you've had your chance. I want to speak to the people here, everyone here who's listening. We're going to have this talk about ideas, and this won't be the last time. We'll have more meetings like this, Reverend Meeks, and I'll be coming back here because it is my pleasure, and I am from here. But that will be the test, okay? You can decide for yourself if you think these hotels downtown are doing worse now than they were in 2021 when they're empty. You can decide for yourself if you think those bills should go down. You can decide for yourself if those data centers, all of us using phones in here, we're doing this virtually. Our data centers, should their taxes be going down? The biggest data center should go down? Well, that's based on some of that evidence that Larry was talking about. Some of that evidence is whack. And the people who provide the evidence donate to his campaign when they should not. When President Preckwinkle's Inspector General said, it is a critical vulnerability that you're taking donations from the people who provide you with this evidence. And they have thumbed their nose ever since that recommendation was made. So I don't take donations from property tax appeals lawyers, and I don't think anyone else should either. So that's what I want you all to know. I realize it's a complex system, but I think you can understand transparency and conflict of interest. And so I'm happy to come back here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So let me ask one question. We almost there. We're going to get there together. Let me ask one question based on, Fritz, what Larry Rogers said. Can your office do the exemptions for Inglewood? No. I just asked. Certificate of error. Can they do it? All right.
Yeah.
Will they do it for Inglewood and West Garfield Park and those that have been assessed high? I just asked, will they do it?
We'll do an exemption. We'll do a certificate of error for anyone who's missing exemptions and for anyone where we found the valuation to have been wrong. Okay?
All right. Okay. So we need to, yes, sir. Last response.
Just like you assess a community and determine the values are increased, you can correct that with a certificate of error for a community. What he just told you is, if you come, I'll fill your certificate of error out. I'm saying ask to do it for the community that you increase the assessments by 50% in. It's too much. And West Garfield Park, front of the line. Send me, I'm telling you, if he sends me a certificate of error acknowledging that he increased West Garfield Park and Lawndale by 40, 50, 60%, we will honor, we will accept it. We will give them all the reduction, acknowledging your overassessment. Last thing I'm saying, he mentioned exemptions. He said, if you find out you don't have the exemptions, come see him. That's because his office accidentally left a bunch of exemptions off your tax bills. So he's saying, when you see it, come to me and I'll fix it. Why do you have to fix it? Why did he get it wrong the first place? Why are the values wrong in the first place? And then lastly, he keeps trying to create an enemy by distracting you with a downtown hotel. Well, we have 2-story commercial properties in our neighborhoods. What he do with them? You have a storefront with a couple of apartments upstairs. He split the valuation and made the lower level commercial property taxed at a commercial rate, and then the apartments upstairs at a residential rate. Why? So he could increase the value of the property of the small mom and pops, where we trying to make it, increase those in the neighborhood. He did it without the authority of the county board, and they called him to the carpet on it. Okay? So I'm not lying to you people. Okay? I'm telling you the truth. I don't assess your properties. And he's told you, go to the board to fix my errors. Okay? Those errors occur both in commercial properties and residential properties. Mom and pops. Okay.
I'm with you. So now, here's the solution. The assessor said that he had the authority to do it. He said he will do it. Larry pointed out that he said he will do it as people come. Rainbow Push now, we will bring the community to his office. And so he needs to reduce the entire community. We'll just bring West Garfield Park. We'll have a West Garfield Park Day at the assessor's office. We'll have an Inglewood Day at the assessor's office. And that way we could help our community. We could help our community get their property taxes reduced, and everybody will be happy. All right? Is that good enough? That's how we'll work it. You see, as we get ready to take our offering, you see, we just watched a classic example. The individual taxpayer, we don't know all this jargon. We don't know. But as they got a chance to talk to each other, if we're not careful, when the elephants collide, the people get trampled. And we need to be able to simplify it so that we can understand it. So this won't be our last session on taxes. This is our first session on taxes. But we're going to stick with something until we get it straight. And this is the one that we have to get straight. All right? Amen. Can y'all give our guest a big hand? Can y'all give our guest a big hand? Come on, everybody. Give our guests. Thank y'all so much. Y'all, they both were great in what they said. Now listen to this. We getting ready to go. Listen to this. I was going to give $100 today. My mind was made up. But what I saw today, I'm giving $200. I'm giving $200 because this was well worth the price of admission. This is what we've come here for. Am I right about it? This is why Push exists, so that we could gather the community. Shh. Too many people walking, too many people talking but me. Too many people walking, too many people. You give it, right? Dr. Hatch is giving 200. This is why we come here, so that we could gather the community together and we could get answers. That's what we're all about. That's why you got up out of the bed today, so you could get some answers. And that's why we're asking y'all, keep on coming back and keep supporting the organization. Now, we're in a building. Y'all ain't cold because we got the heat on. We got lights on. Y'all know all this stuff costs. Y'all know all this stuff costs. You might not be able to give 200 like I gave. Now, didn't you say half y'all millionaires? Y'all could give some money too. Oh, you gave your 200. All right. So I know the man from Kenwood and Oak Park got a couple thousand, but anyway, I mean he live everywhere. Let me pray as you think about as you think about what you're gonna give. Let me pray. Let me pray. God, we love you. We lift you. Ain't nobody like you. We thank you for our founder and our leader, the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. We thank you that even as he looked this way, he can put a smile on his face today because we're still carrying on. Thank you for Larry Rogers, a son of our community, who stands and stood to explain to us what he saw. Thank you for Fritz Craigie, our assessor, who stood and told us what he saw. You know the truth. And we lift you up because the truth is what sets us free. Thank you for not wasting our time this morning. Thank you for enlightening us and inspiring us. Now we have a chance. Some of us can give $5. Your word says it was a widow who gave 2 mites, but that was the best she could do. And you honor the best we can do. Touch us. You know the needs of Push. Touch us to do our best and maybe a little bit better than our best. We honor you in Jesus' name. Amen. Where are the envelopes? Anybody need an envelope? Anybody need? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay. Raise your hand if you need an envelope. And hey, wait. Before we get it, I need to get this money. Raise your hand if you need an envelope. And then if you want to give digitally, how do we do that? You could go to the website or the QR code. Website, pardon me, the QR code doesn't work. Okay, then give real money. If this get real, just give real money. Give real money. Real money, real money. Can we appreciate Michelle for singing every week and lifting our spirits? All right, can we pass our baskets now? Can we make sure? Here's mine. Here's mine. I'm going to write my name on it. I'm going to get my credit for my 200. Did everybody give? Did everybody give? Did everybody give? All right, are they giving QR code? All right, or the swipe? Did everybody give? Okay, let me say it another way. That's all right, that's all right. How many of y'all gave? How many of y'all? All right, and how many of y'all didn't give yet? Didn't give yet. You still, all right, you waiting on the QR code? It don't work? rainbowpush.org. You could do it at rainbowpush.org. Now listen, here's the truth as we get ready to go. If you want to give, you're going to find a way to do it. Don't leave and out not finding a way. Betty Magnus says, raise your hand again, Betty. All right, she's going to help everybody that want to give. She's going to help you to give. Don't forget Thanksgiving Day. We'll be here with the Jackson family, and we are happy to have some of y'all come and volunteer. Miss Leek, we're so glad to see you. Bob Starks, we are so glad to have you. Gator was here, all of our heroes, and Reverend Marshall Hatch is here. The push is on, and we thank God for Reverend Stephen. Did everybody give? Did everybody give? Everybody give? Not yet. All right, well, those of you, that's honest. That's honest. You ain't get yet. I'm getting ready to almost dismiss us, but don't y'all leave with all you not yets. Don't y'all leave not yet. Y'all going to give. Shall we stand? Push is on. God, we love you and we lift you. Bless our day. Bless our leader. In Jesus' name, amen. Downstairs, we're going to be giving away food. We're going to be giving away food. I don't know the order, but we're going to be giving away food downstairs. Hug somebody and tell them, I'm glad I was here today. I'm glad I was here today.
Hey, Fritz.